Democracy is Islam. Let's deal with that. Democracy is Islam. Subhanallah. What is democracy? Again, in my shallow and simplistic interpretation of things, but historically correct. You can check in the dictionary or any book on political ideology. Democracy is a system that claims or teaches that the rule is for the people. The people decide in democracy what is allowed and what is not allowed, what is forbidden and what is not forbidden. This is what democracy means. Democracy means the rule of the people. Anyone who knows what democracy is, anyone who knows the meaning of democracy, knows that that's what it means. So, how can democracy be Islam? Because Islam teaches that the rule is for Allah. That Allah is the sovereign. Allah alone has the right and the authority. God alone has the right and the authority to decide what is halal and what is haram, what is good and what is evil. Therefore, whoever attributes and whoever claims that people have that right has made shirk with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In fact, democracy is nothing except pure shirk and kufr of the highest order. It is shirk and kufr. So this is like saying kufr is Islam, shirk is Islam. Subhanallah. Democracy has nothing to do with Islam, and Islam, walhamdulillah, has nothing to do with democracy. Democracy is a system where any evil can be made allowed. Any evil, you name it. You name the evil. It can be not only made allowed, it could be made obligatory. Homosexuality. Homosexuality can be made not only legal. If they wanted, you could have compulsory lessons in homosexuality. If they wanted, in a democratic society, if enough of them decided. Is this Islam? Does Islam allow you to vote in and out the laws of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? This is what is the meaning of democracy. The sovereignty is with the people. Islam says the sovereignty is with Allah. What Allah made haram is haram, and what Allah made halal is halal, and it does not change. It stays the same. This is Islam. If some people say, oh, we have shura in Islam. Shura is shura. It's not democracy. Shura is shura. It's not democracy. It's a different thing. Shura is when a few, a very few, 5 or 6 of the most knowledgeable and pious and trustworthy people amongst the Muslim community come together, 5 or 6 of them, maybe a few more, maybe less, to decide who should be the next Khalifa. This is nothing to resemble democracy whatsoever. However, I'm glad someone brought this up, because this is a perfect example of the Coca-Cola Muslim mentality. People who have become so infatuated with the West. They look at the West, oh, the technology, oh, the this, oh, the West, the West, the West. It's so, they've become so infatuated and so embarrassed about their religion that they now have to say that, look, we have democracy. You see, Islam has democracy. It's called shura. Think about it like this. Imagine we lived in a time, imagine now, we lived in a time where there was this civilization, powerful civilization, with powerful technology, economically, militarily dominant. And their system was prostitution. They had a system of prostitution. If a man wanted to go with a woman, you know, he visited a prostitute. That was it. That's all they had, prostitution. And that was the accepted norm. And they said, this is the way, prostitution is the good way, it's civilized, it's this and that. You see the woman, she gets paid and, you know, she gets looked after and, you know, she's not exploited and, you know, there you go, you see, it's justice. And you uncivilized people. And so someone comes along and says, we Muslims, we've got prostitution too. It's called nikah. You see, the woman, we get married to her and we give her mahar, a dowry, we pay her some money. We've got prostitution as well. Yes? Why not? Why not? Because what? Because you're so affected by someone, you want to say, we've got democracy? Islam does not have democracy. Either the person who said this does not know what democracy is, or they do not know what Islam is. One of the two things. Or the worst thing would be that they know what democracy is, and they know what Islam is, But they still say this. May Allah protect us. Subhanallah.